story of Gautam Adani and how he became the third richest person in the world. Hello and welcome to my channel. Before starting, support the channel by liking this video and subscribing to this channel for future updates. Indian businessman Gautam Adani has seen a rapid surge in his wealth that has propelled him to the ranks of the world's top few richest people. Diversification and Mr. Adani's focus on sectors that are central to the Indian government's economic growth ambitions put him in a strong position to see a continued rise in his fortunes, analysts say. Mr. Adani has made many smart moves to expand in many critical sectors and has been a beneficiary of government contracts in many industries where the government wants India to become self-reliant, said Sonam Srivastava, founder at Right Research and Investment Advisory based in Mumbai. Mr. Adani, 60, chairman of conglomerate Adani Group, is worth $143 billion, making him the third richest person in the world, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, beaten only by Elon Musk, $260 to $157 billion, and Jeff Bezos, $157 billion. This represents a remarkable increase in the industrialist's wealth compared with only 2 years ago, when his fortune stood at $89,157 billion. It comes during a period of enormous volatility, which eroded the wealth of many. A first-generation entrepreneur from Ahmedabad in the western Indian state of Gujarat, Mr. Adani started his group in 1988 as a commodity trading business. He then expanded into energy, utilities, and infrastructure with a focus on coal and ports. In recent years, he has continued to expand these businesses and moved into sectors including airports, media, healthcare, and digital services. These come with risks, analysts, while also presenting major growth opportunities. He has great diversification in all these businesses, said Manish P. Hingar, founder of financial advisory platform Fin2. Wherever there is a futuristic business in India, I think he has a stronghold. He's in the right place at the right time, which we think will help him in future growth of his businesses. Mr. Adani has benefited from the government's heavy focus on infrastructure development over the past few years. His strong relationship with the government, along with the focus on capital-intensive businesses where there is less competition, had helped the conglomerate to prosper, Ms. Hingar says. The big driving factor is the company's organic growth and inorganic growth, which came from rapid acquisition in various sectors, he added. As part of its acquisition strategy, Adani Group earlier this year announced a deal to acquire a controlling stake in Ambu Cements and its local subsidiaries from Swiss company Holcim. Fin2's analysis shows that since March 2020, the stock prices of the 7 Adani Group companies have rallied between 250% and 4,100%. Meanwhile, the combined market cap of the group's companies has risen to $254 billion from $16.4 billion in March 2020. This has, however, led some analysts to raise questions about valuations of some of the companies. A rise in oil and gas prices globally has also played a role in boosting Mr. Adani's wealth. But the group's energy business is becoming increasingly focused on green energy. In November 2021, Mr. Adani outlined plans to invest $70 billion with the ambition of becoming the world's largest renewable energy producer and to generate the cheapest hydrogen on the planet. One of the biggest triggers for the success of Adani Group is their ability to enter into potential sectors at the right time, said Radvendra Nath, managing director at Mumbai's Ladderup Wealth Management. He added that one of the main factors that has driven Mr. Adani's surge in wealth and should ensure future growth was the company incubating and investing in many new businesses like end-to-end manufacturing of green hydrogen, data centers, roads, airports, petrochemicals, water, copper, aluminium, defense manufacturing. A strong outlook for the group was facilitated by emergence of the strong value chain across the businesses and capturing the immense opportunity in the green hydrogen space, Mr. Nath says. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government is increasingly focusing on cleaner forms of energy as it targets net zero carbon emissions by 2070. This year, Mr. Modi launched the country's national hydrogen mission, aimed at turning India into a green hydrogen hub. The government is aiming to produce 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030. All of Mr. Adani's businesses will harness maximum advantage from India's economic transition, Mr. Nath said. From the near to medium term, I believe, due to their resource accessibility and execution with cost efficiency, the company will be able to achieve milestones in all its initiatives. However, analysts say there are major risks for the group. Debt research firm Credit Sites, part of Fitch Group, last month released a report which described the conglomerate as deeply over-leveraged, warning that there was the potential to spiral into a massive debt trap. It cited high interest rates and a long gestation period for some of the group's infrastructure projects as negative factors. But last week, following a conversation with the group's management, credit sites said it had made calculation errors in the report for some of the companies. Mr. Adani's management views that the group's leverage is at manageable levels and that its expansion plans have not been mainly debt-funded, credit sites said. While credit sites retracted some of the figures for the group as a whole, Reuters reported that the research company told the Newswire in an email last week that we still stand by our original financial calculations and credit ratios, which leads us to remain concerned over the Adani Group's leverage. Moves into sectors such as the media, with Adani Group recently launching a hostile takeover bid of the Indian news organization NDTV, and bidding in the 5G spectrum auction could be major risks for him, experts warn. Too much diversification is a challenge in executing the strategies, Ms. Hinger said. He also raised concerns about debt. Acquisitions and expansions, which are mostly debt-funded, have become a cause for concern, he said. If anything happens on the wrong side for Adani, maybe due to debt trap or something like that, definitely it will impact India. But overall, given India's economic growth trends, the group looked to be generally in good stead, Ms. Hingar adds. Wherever the government is focusing on a bigger way, Mr. Adani has a good hold into that, he said. So if India growth story is robust and positive for the long term, we see a good and decent rally in his wealth and share prices in this year's. In turn, Mr. Adani is playing a significant role in the country's economic growth. He talks about nation building being a pivotal part of the group's strategy. This philosophy makes them well positioned to take advantage of the India opportunity and move towards a monopolistic approach, says Ms. Shrivastava. As the conglomerate expands in areas including 5G and media, this is increasingly seeing Mr. Adani going head-to-head with sprawling conglomerate Reliance Industries' Mukesh Ambani, who for years was India's richest man. Ultimately, though, the outlook for Mr. Adani's group largely hinges on the broader economic environment, Right Research's Ms. Shrivastava says. If the economy stays strong, the group companies involved in infrastructure development, power, green energy will flourish, and the same for the consumption sector, she said. In the scenario of high global volatility, the stocks with high valuation and vast amounts of debt will be a concern, though. Leadership coach and wealth manager Pratik Toshnewal is optimistic about Mr. Adani, attributing the industrialist's success to business acumen, determination, and hard work. It was his sheer brilliance to understand and foresee the potential growth of future sectors, and with right mix of debt and equity structuring, Adani has captured the market in no time, he says. Mr. Adani may soon become the world's richest man within a blink of an eye. Surprising facts about Gautam Adani. Gautam Adani was one of the hostages in the Taj Hotel during the tragic 26/11. Adani, along with other hostages, was hiding in the basement of the hotel. The next morning, along with the other hostages, he was rescued by NSG commandos. Gautam Adani dropped out of his B.Com in second year and moved to Mumbai. He worked as a diamond sorter in Zaveri Bazaar. During his childhood, Gautam Adani visited Kandla Port on a school tour. He was awestruck by the mammoth port, and he made a promise to himself to build a port of a similar scale when he grows up. He fulfilled his promise in 1988 when he won the contract to build and operate the Mundra Port. He scaled up the Mundra Port to become the biggest cargo port in India. Gautam Adani has always been known for venturing into new and hot businesses. Adani has successfully entered the power generation and distribution business. Today, Adani Power is the biggest private power generation company in India. Adani Group is also the biggest airport operator in India. There's a busy suburb on the western line of Mumbai city called Borivali. It's one of the favorite destinations for those coming from Gujarat. In Borivali, Gautam Adani started his journey at the age of 18 in the year 1978. There are two turning points in my life. One in 1985, when the government relaxed import norms under Open General License, OGL, for actual users. I began imports of raw materials, polymers, and entered trading. The second turning point came in 1995 when we decided to get into the port sector as part of the group's overall strategy to get into asset building. Gautam Adani. The journey of Gautam Adani and Adani Group is a source of motivation and a beacon of focus, determination, and success. In an era with growing entrepreneurship success stories, success is many a time measured by the value one has in terms of money. The success, however, is years of hard work and struggle which brings people where they are today. What do you think about our video? Tell us in the comment section below. And if you have any questions or suggestions, then feel free to mention them in the comment section, and we will surely respond to your request. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
It was our pleasure to spend some time with you. Thank you for watching the WTH channel. Let us know what you think of this video in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe for more content.